Now today's artist is undeniably successful, recognized by the next 2 generations as well, and has not yet fallen off enough to inspire nostalgia. He snuck into a club to rap about smoking weed before he had even turned 17 and consequently landed a signing with Atlantic Records. His career went from strength to strength, headlining alongside the likes of Eminem, Usher, and Wiz Khalifa. Surprisingly for a rapper, he didn't beef heavily, except for one time where he went all out against an astrophysicist of all things. Now let's put all of these little tidbits together, and without further ado, I give you B.o.B.
Just go. Well, I could use a dream or a genie or a wish to go back to a place much simpler than this. 'Cause after
What up guys, Ali here and welcome to Ali Talks Music. Add me on Instagram and Ali Talks Music as well. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. B.o.B was born around 1988. Though born in North Carolina, he was raised on the east side of Atlanta, and from a truly early age he loved music. Throughout school he played the trumpet, guitar and piano and studied musical theory, eventually dropping out at the age of 14 to pursue a career in music.
In class, man, I would say my overall attitude at school was just, I really had a hustler's mentality. Whatever I needed to do to make it happen for myself, when I had to buy my own clothes and, find my own means to support myself, I just had a hustler's mentality, and I think that translated into the way I made music.
Whilst in school, he met his manager and mentor, B. Rich, and together they were unstoppable. Bobby's cousin taught him how to mix a beat through a production program, and at this remarkably young age, Bobby got his first taste of success when he sold a completed beat to Slip and Slide City for I'm the Cookie Man. Being only 14 at the time and having made his first real money, Bobby blew it all, but learned his lesson from this. I went and blew all of my money on fast stuff like a chain and ballin'. Soon I was broke again, but I learned 2 important things from it. Make sure I saved my money and that I was hooked on music. 4 years later, B. Rich helped sneak Bobby into Club Crucial when Bobby was only 17 years old. The club was owned by T.I., and once there, Bobby performed a self-written, self-produced track called Cloud 9, and in case you didn't get it, yes, the track was an ode to marijuana.
I am walking along a very cold road, and wherever it ends and where it begins, I do not know.
This turned out to be Bobby's big break because TJ Chapman, producer and CEO of TJ's DJs, was in the audience. After his performance, TJ agreed to co-manage Bobby, and a month later, the aspiring rapper had landed a deal with none other than Atlantic Records and its subsidiary imprint, Rebel Rock. Once he caught the attention of the mainstream, Bobby went from strength to strength, making a name for himself as he went. He immediately dropped a series of singles for the label, including Haters Everywhere, I'll Be in the Sky, and Generation Lost, which all did their circuits on the underground. He also dropped a series of EPs and mixtapes while preparing for his official debut. Around 2007, he dropped the mixtapes The Future and Cloud 9, as well as the EP East Side. While in 2008, he released another EP titled 12th Dimension and the mixtapes Hi, I'm B.o.B and Who the F is B.o.B. After a few years of prepping his sound and getting his name recognizable to the fans, Bobby was ready for his official debut as an Atlantic artist. Around 2009, Bobby Ray and Bruno Mars shared the spotlight on their triple platinum single, Nothing on You, which went on to top both the main and the rap chart.
nothing on you. I know you feel where I'm coming from. Regardless of the thing.
In addition to his smashing debut, Ray was featured on the cover of XXL to form part of their 2009 freshman class, alongside the likes of Wale, Kid Cudi, and Currency. His career continued to grow at a rapid pace as he announced his official debut album to be titled B.o.B Presents The Adventures of Bobby Ray.
They say what goes up must come down, but don't let me fall.
And dropped another 2 mixtapes titled B.o.B vs. Bobby Ray and May 25th.
I don't really get into this shit. I don't really want everybody to know. I mean, you gotta do it because you can you network with people, connect, things like that. I don't really want to. B.o.B, what's up, boy? My name's Bobby Ray. Oh, come on, B.o.B. I know B.o.B when I. Hey! said his name is Bobby Ray. You can tweet him as Bobby Ray. Damn, man.
Fuck you. Fuck you. No goddamn B.o.B. when I see it. What do you hate it here?
Oh, it's a rap beat.
Now, by the time the adventures of Bobby Ray hit the fans around 2010, B.o.B was already starting to become a household name, and his album was an absolute smashing success.
Yeah, well I could use a dream or a genie or a wish to go back to a place much simpler than this.
It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, making him the 13th solo male artist to have a debut album arrive at #1 within the first week. It had several big features from names like Bruno Mars, Eminem, and Lupe Fiasco, and was the kind of instant hit that made you think of overnight success. Singles off the album included Nothing on You, Don't Let Me Fall, Airplanes featuring Hailey Williams, Magic, and I'll Be in the Sky. I didn't realize until I looked back and really understood how far I've come. A lot of what I started doing was passing out mixtapes. For instance, with my first mixtape Cloud 9, I would go around to different cities, DJ conferences, and artist showcases, passing out my mixtape. I think a lot of it is all about character building. At the end of the day, no matter how many mixtapes you put out, if you don't have good music, then you're not going to develop a following because it's the good music that people want to hear. And you've got to have people around you who are honest enough to give you advice before you start distributing your music. He continued to grow as an artist, keeping his momentum flowing, and by the end of 2010 he had released another mixtape called No Genre. Now, the one thing that took Bobby one step further in his career was his collaboration with Eminem. Initially, Airplanes only featured B.o.B and Hailey Williams, but when Eminem jumped on the track, he took it to another level and essentially stole the show. When speaking on how he got Eminem on the song, B.o.B said the following: Paul Rosenberg played him the Cloud 9 mixtape, and it kind of gave him an idea of what my music sounds like. Eventually, he started playing Eminem more of my stuff and was keeping him updated on my progress, and eventually he wanted to get in the studio with me. So that was a gift. Now, after his crazy climb to the top, Bobby began to slow down slightly. He wasn't exactly falling off, but he began to release less and less music. Around 2010, he opened for Eminem and Jay-Z on their Home and Home tour, and around 2011, he dropped another mixtape called Epic, which stood for Every Play is Crucial.
It's B.o.B. You know who it is without a doubt and hesitation.
Success, it seems, painted a target on his back, and before long another rapper was coming at him trying to engage him in a battle rap. The rapper was none other than Tyler, the Creator, on his song Yonkers. To be fair, the hit song contained disses aimed at several big name stars, but he was the first person to come after B.o.B, and the diss was by no means subliminal.
Fuck her, Wolf Hailey robbing him. I'll crash that fucking airplane at that faggot nigga Bob is in it.
Okay, now, let's talk about B.o.B then. Yes, let's talk.
What about
Yes.
This track was so tight.
Awesome, baby.
I mean,
Hurt, baby. He felt that in his neck, his vein in his head stood
but
up.
it's like, it's cool because like, I was just like, I hate that airplane song.
Me too.
And the fact that
Me
he
too.
made a whole diss track just because some nobody said his name made me feel like I won.
Exactly.
But I didn't even take it as a diss because he didn't say no one's name or Odd Future or anything. So I guess it was a subliminal thing. So I just didn't even.
Exactly.
I brushed it off. But I felt good because it's like, this dude, he had like the biggest hit of the year.
Now, name dropping in hip hop is a great way for a rapper to gain attention. 50 did it on How to Rob, and it basically gave light to his whole career. Jay-Z on A Star Is Born, Kendrick Lamar did it on Control, and don't get me started on The Game. If used right, name dropping is a very fast way to gain recognition in the game, but sometimes it does piss people off. Infuriated by the diss, Bobby fired back on his own diss track, taking aim at Tyler and his collective Odd Future.
If I was you, I would be a little more cautious. I'm way too high for you to look at.
After dropping his own response track, Bobby spoke about his beef with Odd Future in an interview. I feel like their music speaks to the generation I was part of when I was in middle school, when I was really angry. Tyler probably didn't know who I was before Airplanes. He just heard me on the radio rapping about whatever the f I was rapping about and was like, who the f is this guy? And it ended up in his lyrics. I didn't think it was gonna escalate. The whole beef thing is kinda lame. It's like, this, that. I'm not gonna walk around the earth mad at some random person. It's pointless.
I felt like Well, when I initially heard the line, I felt like it was some MC shit. You know what I mean? I felt like it was like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like honestly, there's a side of me as an artist. It's like, you know what, like, I'm saying my name, like what, you know. But when you understand the art, the element of it, and what it is, you know, you understand what the MC mentality is. And so for me, I feel like some people perceived it as a shot, but I feel like you know, people love to hate. So it's like, you know, when he said the line, my fans weren't coming at me like, Bob, he's dissing you. Like nobody was saying that, you know. So I feel like, you know, there's some things that people can take it. You know, you can take it and just, you know, make whatever you want to make out of it. But you know, I don't harbor any negative emotion at all. So, and I feel like with hip hop now, I feel like even if something is competitive, man, as long as it stays productive and it's raising the bar for hip hop music, I feel like there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yo, this is B.o.B right now. You were tuned into the source. You know what it is. I approve this message, and I'm gone.
And that was both the beginning and the end of his beef with Tyler the Creator. Tyler never responded, and Bobby had nothing else to say. After that, he started focusing on himself and worked on his next album, Strange Clouds. He released his leading single for the album, a collaboration with Lil Wayne by the same name, in late 2011.
And all we do is light it up all night. All you see is strange clouds.
The single went platinum, but the rest of Bobby's music was becoming strange and implaceable. The album peaked at number 5 on the Billboard 200 and sold about 76,000 copies in the first week. Now, if we compare these sales to his first album, the first one sold 84,000 copies in the first week and eventually went gold by 2012. In comparison, Strange Clouds did not go gold, and that's probably because it was missing that smash single like Airplanes. In my opinion, the one thing that was missing from this album is Eminem. The thing is, Airplanes came out around the time Eminem dropped Recovery. During this time period, Eminem was essentially returning back to the game after a long period of substance abuse. He came back with a new flow, new energy, and people were excited to hear new Eminem material once again. With that being said, it's clear that some of the fans only listened to Airplanes and B.o.B's first album simply because Eminem was on it. Now around 2012, he dropped the mixtape Fuck Him We Ball and G.D.O.D, and in 2013 he dropped his last charting album, Underground Luxury.
It's just so many women, it's just so many chains.
The project debuted at number 22 on the Billboard 200 and sold about 35,000 copies in the first week. Unfortunately, by 2014, the album sold under 100,000 copies. Now in 2014, B.o.B went back to releasing more mixtapes, and around this time he launched his own label, No Genre, a label full of unknown acts like Jake Lambo, Jack Beats, Lynn Z, in London J. Now around 2015, Bobby took to Twitter to air out his grievances about his time on Atlantic Records. And according to the man, he was getting no support from the label. There's a ban on B.o.B. They boycott me. They're afraid I'll get too much exposure. When people say I'm underrated or slept on, it's not entirely the case. Suppressed is a better word. All my social media outlets are heavily monitored and my reach is crippled. My own label doesn't even promote my albums, mixtapes, shows or events. Zero promo. None. Zero. Thank God Tip got my back and he's still in my corner. Hustle gang, no genre. To every fan who has ever given me a retweet, a follow or a like, thank you for spreading the word. You've done more promo than the label. Hey, damn. Now inevitably, B.o.B and Atlantic Records parted ways and the man started to focus on his own label. B.o.B then went on to release more mixtapes like Fire, Live and Direct, Earth and Air, but despite his best efforts, he was a commercial rapper turned independent artist and his fan base was starting to dwindle dramatically. He made things a lot worse when early in 2016, he began a Twitter war with astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. It started innocently enough, with B.o.B posting an image on Twitter of himself frolicking in the snow. The trouble came in when he started captioning it. The cities in the background are approximately 16 miles apart. Where is the curve? please explain this. He then went on a seemingly out of the blue rant on the flat earth theory, accompanied by various images and statistics. He then went on to say, a lot of people are turned off by the phrase flat earth, but there's no way you can see all the evidence and not know. Grow up. Time-lapse photos of stars form perfect circles. How is that possible? By the way, GoPros have curved lenses. Once you go flat, you never go back. Esteemed astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson corrected the rapper with as little disrespect as possible. Dude, to be clear, being 5 centuries regressed in your reasoning doesn't mean we all can still like your music. At B.o.B ATL, Earth's curve indeed blocks 150, not 170 feet of Manhattan, but most buildings in Midtown are way taller than that. Polaris is gone by 1.5 degrees south latitude. You've never been south of the Earth's equator, or if so, you've never looked up. Flat Earth is a problem only when people in charge think that way. No law stops you from regressively basking in it. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson handled the situation fairly, all things considered. He even closed off the discussion with a compliment. Bobby, however, was having none of it and responded with another 2 tweets. You can regurgitate force-fed information all day, still doesn't change physics. Don't believe what I say? Research what I say. Of course, at this point, the feud should have been over, but B.o.B had something more to say on a single called Flatline. The lyrics are quite strange and close with a snippet of deGrasse Tyson explaining why the earth is not flat, in which Bobby seems to think the scientist is contradicting himself, with verses like, globalists see me as a threat, free thinking, got the world at my neck. Huh, I'm paranoid? Picture Malcolm X. In a room full of pigs, trying not to bust a sweat. Hey, Neil Tyson need to loosen up his vest. They'll probably write that man one hell of a check.
I don't want to,
Let's clear this up. This is not a beef between you and B.o.B. I think B.o.B going out saying that honestly is bringing more attention to science as a whole.
So here's the, I'll shut up after this.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't need to go there, except in the Venn diagram of his Twitter followers, which is many, more than 2 million, and my Twitter followers, there's some overlap, apparently. And so in that overlap, when he started posting these tweets, they would come into me and say, Neil, I love B.o.B, but you got to do something. Come on. It was almost like protect him from himself kind of thing. Oh. And so they were calling me out. And still that's not enough until I looked at the tweets and he's saying, I'm using physics and I'm using math. You're going to say you're using physics and not get the right answer? I got to jump in. So that's when I jumped in.
Now, Bobby seems to be making a point in his song with a seriousness that borders on scary, but with this single, he basically cut his remaining fan base in half. In response, Neil deGrasse Tyson fired back in a tweet that said while he may not be a rapper, he knows people that raps. And in response, Neil deGrasse Tyson's nephew, who goes by the name Elect, released the diss track Flat to Fact. The lyrics are amusing, and the overall tone of the song is quite playful. You say the earth is flat and then you try to disrespect him. I'm bringing facts to combat a silly theory, because B.o.B has gotta know the planet is a sphere, G.
You gon' make me go insane. I've already stepped out of the fast lane. You the donkey of the day, I ain't waiting for Charlemagne.
Following the diss tracks, Neil deGrasse Tyson took it even further by going on the nightly show with Barry Wilmore and absolutely shredding the rapper with facts. Listen, B.o.B, once and for all, the earth looks flat because 1, you're not far enough away at your size, and 2, your size isn't large enough relative to earth to notice any curvature at all. It's a fundamental fact of calculus and non-Euclidean geometry. Small sections of large curved surfaces will always look flat to little creatures that crawl upon it. There's a growing anti-intellectual strain in this country. It may be the beginning of the end of our informed democracy. Of course, in a free society, you can and should think whatever you want. If you want to think the world is flat, go right ahead. But if you think the world is flat and you have influence over others, as with successful rappers or even presidential candidates, then being wrong becomes harmful to the health, the wealth, and security of our citizenry. Isaac Newton, my man, said, "If I have seen farther than others, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants." Can I get an amen? So that's right, B.o.B. When you stand on shoulders on those who came before, you might just see far enough to realize the earth isn't flat. And that was the end of that. The bizarre feud between the two became a trending topic on Twitter, and Bobby was either a laughingstock or a legend to the flat earthers.
So I basically in a nutshell, I was the first
country
nigga to admit that I was masturbating in like elementary school. And like it sounds funny now, but like I was like ostracized. Like niggas stopped talking to me, niggas stopped hanging with me. Like, and I'm just like, y'all niggas know y'all niggas. Y'all niggas know y'all doing this shit.
Following the feud, Bobby launched a GoFundMe page of $200,000 with the intent of launching satellites into the sky to prove the Earth is flat. He later upped the total to $1 million, but to date nothing has come of this. After this ridiculous Twitter beef, Bobby continued to release music, and in 2017 he dropped his fourth studio album, Ether, which instantly flopped. One single was released off the album called For Lit. He also dropped the mixtape The Upside Down and the compilation album We Want Smoke, and in 2018 he dropped his fifth album, Naga, which also flopped sales-wise. In 2019, he dropped a compilation album full of his greatest hits and another mixtape titled Southmatic, and in 2020 he released the mixtape Murd and Mercy, and album number 6 known as Somnia. In 2021, he dropped another mixtape called The Lost Tapes and the mixtape Murd and Mary Deluxe. And this year he dropped a single called Scenic Route. Despite his latest albums not doing very well, Bobby Ray still has quite a sizable following on Spotify. The rapper has almost 11.5 million monthly listeners, and his most listened to songs are Airplanes, Nothing on You, Headband, and Magic. That's it for me, it's your boy Ali. What happened to B.o.B in your opinion? Let me know down below. Video requests, I'm always taking those. Also add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music. Till next time, peace.